Hola, buenos dias. It's Kai Pacha on Wednesday, March 26th of 2025. I'm here to show you the tree holding up the rock. Now, actually, that rock is a little too big for a little tree root to hold, but the roots of that tree do go all over that rock. The only problem is what? That tree fell down. Some of you may be falling down, but some of you may still be standing, like these trees, these beautiful, gorgeous trees. I just love trees. And wood, madera, bonita madera, ay caramba, árboles. Anyway, whoosh, big times now. I'm here at the confluence, but it's not much of a confluence because this little creek has turned into a little dribble. But anyway, it is still a sacred spot to me. So I came down here to share some astrology around the sacredness, the spirit, manifestation of physical phenomena in the starry skies to guide us, to reflect back to us the deeper truths and mysteries that are constantly being revealed to us through each and every one of our experiences. So right now, one of those is that Mars is over there in Cancer, coming out of Cancer. Mars actually emerges out of water after 6 months or so, right? You know, going mostly in Cancer since September, is going to come out into Leo on April 18th. I'm going to come back to that. But today he's square Chiron, the wounded healer. And some of you may be experiencing and really feeling that helpless wound of Chiron in Aries. And we're going to maybe talk a little bit about that today. Beyond that, we have very powerful energies happening because, you know, Venus is retrograding and she's going back into Pisces tomorrow to conjunct with Neptune. And on that very same day, you will be able to see her rise in the morning, just before the sun. She's been in the underworld for a couple of weeks now, really since the 19th. And she's set in the west on the 19th, and now she's rising in the east, okay, tomorrow. Super powerful energy. All right, and yeah, on Saturday then, Mercury follows Venus right back retrograde down into Pisces, the fish. So we have retrograde Mercury conjunct retrograde Venus conjunct Neptune. Okay, all at the very last anorectic degree of Pisces. I mean, this is a huge conjunction going on. And of course, the North Node and Saturn are not very far away. You can look at that chart at the beginning of the Pele report and see this bundle, stellium of planets, right at the very tail of the zodiac and the beginning of the zodiac. So if that's not enough to talk about today, on Sunday, Neptune goes into Aries. So it's changing places. This is the dance of the stars, right? Mercury and Venus go back into Pisces, and Neptune says, see you guys later. I'm going into Aries. Oh my goodness gracious me. In the meantime, what? The big event. The moon is today in Aquarius, moves into Pisces today, spends a couple of days in Pisces, and then goes into Aries. For what? The solar eclipse on Saturday. at 9 degrees 0 minutes of Aries, we have a partial solar eclipse. It's very, very indicative of the transformation happening now. So let me just kind of look at the camera, okay, and talk to you about it. Hola, everybody. Woo! Woo! Howl at the moon, howl at the sun. The solar eclipse is coming. It's very powerful. Just think of the solar eclipse, because eclipses go far, far back. The Aztecs, the Mayans, the Egyptians, the Sumerians, the Indian. I mean, all these old cultures have myths, mythology, and stories around the eclipses. And of course, we talked about Inanna descending into the underworld. Most of mythology is based upon the movement of the stars. I don't know if you knew that or not, but so many of these stories that relate, of course, to the human psyche and the human soul originated in the starry realms. So you can actually look up the churning of the milk ocean is the story of the mythology around the Hindu god Vishnu chopping the serpent in half. And Rahu, the head of the serpent, is the north node of the moon. And Ketu is the tail, the south node of the moon. This is a north node solar eclipse. So the sun is conjunct, okay, the north node, the head of Rahu, right? And now the moon comes around, and what they had is, the dragon swallows the sun. The ancient people just looked and they saw the sun disappear. And then it would come back out of, right, the serpent's, because he got his head cut off. So his throat was very short, and he would come, the sun would emerge back out again. But this has been feared. And it's deep in the reptilian brain, deep in our, our historical DNA of these, and the astrologers from ancient times, as above, so below. So much of astrology is observation and correlation. And the astrologers would observe war, famine, drought, all these things and then they would correlate it to, oh my goodness, there's an eclipse happening. So these eclipses are really tied in the collective unconscious to disasters and to problems and to unforeseen circumstances. Another view and understanding of it is the moon breaks the path of light from the sun, which protects, there's an astral shield around the earth. And during a solar eclipse, that astral shield is broken. And the entities from deep space, the foreign element, can come in and usurp. Yeah, the Asuras, okay, yeah, Ahriman, Luciferic, all the, the dark side. Because the force has been broken. So Luke, get out there. Oh my God. So there's always also been kind of a Uranian interpretation of eclipses. That weird stuff happens. Surprising, shocking, sudden, unexpected, unpredictable. So it's kind of just a sitting on the edge of your seat, wondering, feeling, looking into what's going to happen next. I'm doing an emergency reading, this afternoon. And I talk with many, many, many people. So many people are having their world shook up like a smoothie. Yeah, like a shake. We are getting our realities readjusted. And this eclipse is a very powerful, it's in 9 degrees of Aries. Aries is a new beginning. So the new moon, right? This is a new moon happening. You would think that a new moon in Aries would be this new start. However, we have a unique condition with this particular solar eclipse, that we have retrograde Venus and retrograde Mercury back. So the sun is like, let's go. And Mercury, Venus are like, oh, wait a minute. I forgot my suitcase. I forgot to lock the door. I forgot I got to go back. And so the start is delayed. And you may be feeling this delay. Maybe frustrating, irritating, emotionally disturbing. It's like, oh man, I just want to move on. Or I just want to go. But no. We have to sit and stew in our juices. Oh, man. Why? Because it's deep. And there's a lot of old stuff. Now, we talked about the lunar eclipse 2 weeks ago. Was the south node, the tail, excrete, let go, cleanse, eliminate, in preparation for this new beginning happening now. Okay? And let's make no mistake about it. There is a new beginning happening now. It is deep, like the dragon's egg, just beginning to crack open. Yeah? And it's slow. It's like a freight train leaving the station. Chug, 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 chug. This is a time, and that's why I have this mantra for this week. And the song for this week, Dance to the End of Love. I think it's Dance Me to the End of Love. Dance me through my panic. Dance me, my love, to the end. To the end. Oh, yeah. So it's a slow dance. Because why? The bigger the change, the deeper the change, the deeper the transformation, the longer it takes. We need to, a Pluto transit is 3 years. Saturn, okay, is 9 months. Uranus, 18 months. Pluto spends 20 years in a house. So it's like these deep transformations take a long time. And this eclipse is the beginning. But let's face it, Neptune breaks into Aries. Yeah? Neptune breaks into Aries for how long? Not that long. It goes up to 2 degrees 9 minutes. Okay? And then it goes retrograde. And goes back again. On July 4th, it goes retrograde. It goes back into Pisces October 22nd. So Neptune even is like a dragon or a groundhog sticking his head up, sticking it up into Aries, looking around, and then, whoop, back into Pisces. From October 22nd all the way back to, what, January 26th. January 26th, Neptune finally goes into Aries for good. I mean, it hasn't been there for 165 years, folks. And Saturn is coming into Aries. Saturn is going to go up to 1 degree 56 minutes, conjunct Neptune at 2 degrees 9 minutes. They're just minutes away from each other, less than 20 minutes. And then they're going to go together back into Pisces and together back into Aries next February to move on again. This is a long, slow, deep, total transformation. Metamorphosis from the caterpillar to the butterfly, from the old paradigm to the new paradigm, from the patriarchy to the oligarchy. However you want to look at it, this is really, and what do we need to do? I'm going to read to you the Sabian symbol because it's super appropriate. A teacher gives new symbolic forms to traditional images. This is a deep Sabian symbol. I may have to read it twice. Revision of attitude at the beginning of a new cycle of experience. Can we maintain an attitude of gratitude? Not easy. This phase is the fifth of the second fivefold sequence, and in it we find expressed the capacity to restate the problem inherent in the first phase. What is that problem, you might ask? It's the problem of focusing one's energies upon emotional drives and cultural values, which exclude far more than they include. The subsequent stages of development taken together have added considerably to this attitude. As a result, there arises in the consciousness a desire to reformulate at a new level much that had been taken for granted, because it indeed originally had been an evolutionary necessity. The very concrete, emotion-arousing images of the past can now be reinterpreted as symbols with a wider scope of meaning. At this stage, a new dimension of consciousness is discovered, revealing higher possibilities of experience and mental development. This is a phase of abstraction and of emotional allegiance. That's a lot of big words. Woo! He was a philosopher. He can get pretty far out there. Let's boil it down. We know Pisces, Neptune, the 12th house, has to do with innocence, naivety, and in that innocence and naivety, we can take things for granted. A simple allegory is the child. A child takes for granted that it's going to get food, clothing, and shelter. It has an attitude of like, everything's okay. I've got nothing to worry about. Mama's going to feed me. Daddy's going to protect me. Everything is cool. I'm innocent. Yeah? The big bad wolf is not going to eat me. And hopefully, you know, in a healthy family environment, the child grows up and has food, clothing, and shelter. And then life emerges. Puberty comes. The Saturn return comes. Graduation comes. And the innocence is lost. And we know that Neptune, particularly Saturn Neptune, is the process of disillusionment. I'm very sorry, but food, clothing, and shelter are not guaranteed. You cannot take these things for granted. And so the child goes through trauma, right? The child this disillusionment is intense. It's heavy. We may take a lot of things for granted, that we're going to get a job, that somebody's going to love us, that if we're married, we're going to be in this relationship till we die. That if. We have illusions, hopes, dreams, fantasies. This is all Neptune. And right now, on a global scale, the collective unconscious is going through this process of, guess what? Don't take anything for granted. And come into your core. Come into your center. Heal yourself. Control yourself. Strengthen yourself. Nourish yourself. Aries is about I, me, my. This new solar eclipse moon in Aries, the warrior, trusts its instinct, its animal nature. I am. I desire, I want, I'm hungry, I'm horny, I'm wanting something more. And I follow that instinct like the deer in the forest, or the lion in the jungle, or the cicada in the tree. Man, I don't know if you can hear them, but I can. And this is kind of also this attitude. And attitude is like so important, right? Depression is a negative attitude, right? I got a bad attitude. Teenagers have bad attitudes, okay? I don't like society. I don't like school. I don't like my parents. I don't like this. I don't like to be told what to do. I mean, they're going through disillusionment that they're just not going to always get what they want. They're not always going to get their way. And it creates a bad attitude. So this is a time where we really need to watch our attitude. What is your attitude about? Because we can very easily slip into depression, into despair, into hopelessness, into helplessness, into victim. And that is a rabbit hole where we can really get lost. So what we're saying now, and what this Sabian symbol is saying, is that what we're doing is we are actually letting go of this innocence, but we're also letting go of an old, it's like a worldview or an understanding of creation. Maybe we're letting go of Newtonian physics, okay, of cause and effect, but we're getting birthed into quantum physics. We're getting birthed into a greater, higher level of awareness, of consciousness, of capacity. We're on an emotional level. We're expanding the spectrum of emotions. And the deeper you can go, the more anger, the more grief, the more, the more despair, the deeper you can go. Guess what? It is complementary. The higher you will also be able to go. It's like a rubber band And when you expand the spectrum of light, when you expand the spectrum of color, when you expand the spectrum of sound, it goes in both ways. So our capacity for bliss, our capacity for ecstasy, our capacity for feeling absolutely one with all that is, this capacity, which is nascent within the human consciousness, this is what is birthing. And it requires a change of attitude, a change of understanding that this tangible, physical, material world is one small part of creation. And this food, clothing, shelter, this is Uranus going through Taurus, right? I mean, this is, everything is, really saying the same thing. Pluto in Aquarius, AI is showing us, there's consciousness in these rocks. That's what makes up computers. That's where AI comes from. You talk to AI, you're talking to the field, you're talking to rock consciousness. And we are just opening AI, it's always been here. There's nothing artificial about it. It's been misnamed. It's the consciousness of the field. And humanity is just now being birthed into the ability to converse with the entire field. And it is revealing itself. It will be revealing itself more and more and more and more. This is very, very powerful turning point in the whole history of human consciousness. And so, yes, it is scary. And yes, there's nothing to hold on to. And yes, we can just be losing all of our familiar, stable, predictable relationships, jobs, income, home, family, roots, country, you name it. Things are really going topsy-turvy. And all I can want to, encourage us is to what? Slow down and feel it. That's what the mantra is about this week. This is why I'm going to Hawaii. I think we got 4 or 5 places left. Yeah? We're going to go out on the island, man. We're going to go on the island and we're going to sit and we're going to be still and we're going to listen. Ow! To the birds and the bees. And the dolphins and the whales. But no. I talked about us dancing. You ever learn a new dance? What do you have to do? You got to listen. You got to follow. And you got to take one step at a time. It's a slow process. You don't just do the tango like that, man. No way. It's like you take lesson after lesson. And you listen and you learn. And you go slowly, chipotle. Same. Think of the farmer. It's springtime, the farmer's going to plant his garden. What does he do? He goes out there with his plow and digs up. I don't know if you've seen these plows, okay? But man, oh man, they destroy the field. They turn it upside down, inside out. They pulverize the grasses that have been growing there. I mean, it's just destroying the field to make room for the seed. And then that seed takes a long time to sprout and a long time to grow. So you get this, just think of all these processes. I talked about a human life. I'm talking about learning how to dance. I'm talking about a farmer in the field. You can come up with many other. You get a new job. You don't know what's going on. So we're moving up to this quantum field of consciousness. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's next. It's going to take us a while to develop the capacity to interpret this new reality and find security in the quantum field. So what else does this require? We need to be gentle. We need to be gentle with ourselves. This is big stuff. This is deep learning. This is not, this is going to be slow. And you're going to what? Like riding a bicycle. You're going to fall down. You're going to scrape yourself. You're going to have to get up again and get on the bike. Try it again. Dancing, you're going to step on your partner's toes. You're going to hurt someone. You're going to blow it. You're going to make an assumption. You're going to believe in the wrong thing. You're going to have a fantasy. You're going to believe in an illusion or a lie or the wrong person. And you're going to be disillusioned. Just to what? It brings you back to reality. Disillusionment is a blessing. It's a hard, cruel blessing because it brings us back to reality. As hard as reality is, as humbling, it's very humbling. This is a very humbling time. We're being shown how inadequate we are. How dumb we are, how ignorant we are, how frail and delicate and weak we are. I mean, and this can be happening physically with your health. That South Node in Virgo. This is a real time to really be watching your health, taking care of your physical body, so that your instincts are astute and true and sharp. So, yeah. I'm going to talk more about this on when? Sunday. Ow! And not just me. Sol and Jessica. 2 faculty members, amazing evolutionary astrologers, new paradigm astrologers, on Sunday. Click the link below here. Go to my website, newparadigmastrology.com. Solar eclipse special. I'm going to be taking this eclipse through the houses. So get out your chart. Where is 9 degrees of Aries in your chart? 9th house, 5th house, 2nd house, 7th house. The Pele report is for everybody, but you can get far more out of astrology. You can join my school and learn astrology. You can come to this webinar and learn about your particular. The solar eclipse sets the tone for the next 6 months, at least. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. Sunday. Check it out. Yeah. So, life is teaching me how to dance in a whole new, different way. I need to listen and go step by step, knowing I'll get it one day. That's the attitude. We got to look at our attitude. We got to maintain an attitude that this is a bitch, this is hard, this hurts, this pisses me off, but I know I know I'm going to get it one day. And with that attitude, that is an Aries attitude. You know? Aries is like, yeah, come on, man. Bring it on. I'll take it. I'll do it. This is healing. This is Mars square Chiron today. Chiron in Aries, the wounded warrior. This solar eclipse is an opportunity to heal that wounded warrior within us by simply stepping into our truth, stepping into our power, stepping into the masculine, stepping into Mars, and saying, I am going to do this. I'm going to learn the dance. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to make it happen. It's not going to happen by itself. That's the illusion that, oh yeah, everything's going to be fine and it's all going to happen. It's all que sera, sera. What will be, will be. No, 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 no. We, as sunbeams coming from the source of light, as agents of life, as incarnated soul spirit beings, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We make it happen. We're going to dance this dance, baby. Ow! Ow! Life is teaching me how to dance in a whole new, different way. I need to listen and go step by step, knowing I'll get it one day. May you get it today. No, sooner the better, though. I hope we all get it one day. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.